You are listening to The Bad Boy Radio Show with Mr. Locario and Miles Cunningham. This is that real shit, not that fake shit. The only radio show that's not afraid to tell you the truth about the game. This is The Bad Boy Radio Show. Remember, the truth is inside you.
Oh man, this is literally what we talk about all the time on the masculine identity membership, because one of the first tenets of having the masculine identity is gratitude. You understand? And the issue with loser content is that loser content literally reminds you to not be grateful. You see what I'm saying? Loser content literally reminds you to focus on the worst possible outcome. It reminds you to be ungrateful. It reminds you to think negative thoughts.
Right.
It reminds you to resent people. You understand? And this is the major issue, I think, with a lot of the pills.
Right.
Because I'm sure these I honestly think the dudes who follow the pills, I think they mean well. Right. I think they have an intention to mean well. But at the same time, you have to remember, just like how I mentioned earlier, that gravity is always going to pull you to the center of the earth. Right. It's the same thing with your mindset and what you think about. You understand? Shout out to Napoleon Hill, the author of the book Think and Grow Rich. And shout out to Earl Nightingale, because he says they both have been known to quote, and I'm paraphrasing, but you become what you think about. Right. You literally become what you think about. And what that means, it's not just like you become, but what it also means is that your reality becomes. You understand? So if you're always, women are this and women are that and female nature and gold diggers, because the thing is you forget to look at yourself. You have all of this hate, you have all of this resentment, you have all of this frustration to dating, you have all of this hate and frustration to women, you have all of this hate and frustration to, socializing, to friends, to people, right, to everything. And so you are literally marinating your brain in loser juices. Exactly. Right. You understand? Like you got to really understand what kind of detriment you are doing to your brain, to your mindset, to the way that you think, and then from there, how you see the world.
That's that right there. Like you said, how you see the world, some real shit. 'Cause that reminds me of the shoe salesman story, right?
Yes, yes.
Where there's two shoe salesmen that go to a village, and one shoe salesman says, well, damn, I'm not going to be able to sell any shoes because nobody wears shoes in this village. And then the other shoe salesman says, oh, I'm going to make a killing selling shoes here because nobody wears shoes in this village. So it's the same situation. One has the winner's mindset and one has the loser's mindset. And this is the thing that I keep trying to tell motherfuckers on YouTube and the internet, where I see a lot of losers commenting on things. Like, for example, I'll give you a perfect example, right? So the infamous Miami video that we did in Miami, we was walking and talking to the women, right? Right. So I've seen a lot of, losers like trying to react to that. Right. So the one of the first losers I seen react to this was like maybe 2 years ago, I think, or something like that. I think the video was out like a year or 2 years ago. But anyway, so what happened was that after I saw this loser react to it, I just was like, see, these guys don't get the point, or they don't understand what's going on. Because what happens is that he's reacting to it looking through his loser lens, just like the shoe salesman is like, man, I can't sell no shoes here. So what happened was he was watching a video and he said, oh, Miles and Locario, they're getting rejected by all these women. I'm like, really? That's interesting, because in order to get rejected, you have to offer a woman a proposition. Right. And throughout the whole video, we didn't offer any woman any proposition. So you see what I'm saying? But understand that in his loser mind, right? Because he feels like women are going to reject him, he sees us talking to women, and because the women are not giving us their number, or we're not making out with women in the street, or whatever the fuck he thought it was supposed to be, he's like, oh my God, look at these guys getting rejected. But what happens is he's not looking at us, he's looking at himself. You see what I'm saying? Because he's seeing something through his loser eye that he relates to. So he's thinking, man, if I was walking the street, women, wouldn't be interested or attracted to me. So that's what I'm seeing with these guys, even though they're not propositioning the woman for anything. See, you see how the point gets past it. You see what I'm saying? Because even in the video, for those who don't know, right, the day before the video, we told niggas we are going to go in the street and just have conversations with women. Right. And then what happens is that we basically said, we're going to show the women that we have the camera on them so they know they're being filmed.
Exactly.
Right? So what happens is that in the actual video, we're doing it live and we told the audience, hey, give us some lines to say to the women, because we were saying the day before that it's easy to just talk to women and you can tell them anything, which is why in the video, we're talking to the people watching live to tell us lines to say to the women. Now, in order for a guy to understand this, he has to be a winner. But see, a loser doesn't understand this, so they take shit out of context, right? So I've been getting, text and shit from people like, yo, Locario, this other guy did a video about that video. Locario, this other guy did a video about this video. Now, what I find interesting is this. Do you realize that on the Mr. Locario channel, we have at least about 7,000 videos on that channel, right? Now, why is it that out of 7,000 videos, exactly like why is it that out of 7,000 videos, that's the one that they keep wanting to talk about? Isn't that interesting?
That's interesting.
Isn't that interesting? And the reason why is because that's the only video that they can relate to. Because the stuff that we actually are talking about goes over their heads because they're stuck in a loser mentality. You see how that works? Because they can't take a video of us actually breaking down the game and say anything about it because, one, they either don't know what the fuck we're talking about, or two, they don't have the brain capacity to see what we're talking about in order to really break it down. You feel what I'm saying? Or three, they realize what we're saying so they can't actually say anything about it. And then see if the third reason is the case, then that would mean that they're being disingenuous about talking about the Miami video. Now, the thing is this, again, when you are a loser, you see things through a loser's lens. So what happens is, like I said, is that because you are a loser, you're going to watch whatever you're watching or think whatever you're thinking through that lens because you want to identify with your loser mentality. So if I can say Miles and Locario was out here getting rejected by all these women, then I don't have to listen to what they're saying because then what they're saying doesn't matter and I can stay being a fucking loser. You feel what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? That's why they'll gravitate to that, because now what they're doing is they want to keep the identity of being a loser. You understand what I'm saying? That's how it works. And this is why it's dangerous to look at loser content, because a loser content is going to keep you in the cycle of being a loser. You see what I'm saying? That's the issue. But again, when you're in that cycle, then what happens is you can only see things through a loser's lens, because the thing that a real loser never wants to do is win.
Right.
So if there's situations that can keep reinforcing their loser mentality, they're going to keep doing it. It's just like, for example, there's a thing called a congruence bias, right? And what a congruence bias is basically it's for people to over rely on testing their initial hypothesis about something. So that means like, and then they neglect, alternatives. So for example, what happens is that if a person thinks about something, let's say like, for example, the losers think that everything is about looks, right? So then what happens is that they're going to find evidence for that, or things that they think are evidence for that. So they're like, oh, look at this video of this Chad on the dating app. He's getting all these messages. Or, oh my God, look at this evidence of Jeremy Meeks or whatever is, his mugshot is up and all these women want, so they're looking for things to go with their thought, right? But what happens is that the reason why it's called a congruence bias is because you're biased to that thought instead of looking for the alternative. So remember how I tell you guys that sometimes I will interact with a woman who's giving me resistance because I want to test the game out to see if I can deal with a woman who gives me resistance at first and then get cooperation later. And I told y'all that every time I've done that, the opposite happened, what I was actually expecting happened, but I was testing it, meaning that the woman still gave me resistance later. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to prove myself wrong. See, a loser doesn't want to prove himself wrong because the loser wants to stay a loser.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So what a loser should be doing is let me listen to what the winners are talking about so I can prove myself wrong so I can win. You see what I'm saying? But again, when you're so caught up in loser content, you have that congruence bias. So you're biased to looking at more and more content that sort of goes along with your narrative instead of trying to prove yourself wrong to say, hey, maybe there's another way. Maybe I don't have to be 6'5" in order to get a woman. Maybe I don't have to make six figures to get a woman. You feel what I'm saying? Or to attract women. Just maybe these motherfuckers over here who's spitting game, maybe they're on to, just maybe, I don't know, just maybe. You see what I'm saying? But they don't want to do that. You see? It's crazy. It's crazy. And it's funny because a lot of these dudes, they don't pay attention to detail, which is why I don't necessarily take them seriously or pay attention to them, because somebody did a response video to us, right? I don't need to say the nigga's name, but in the caption, like the screenshot, the thumbnail, he put you're wrong, but he put YOUR wrong, right? That's not how you do it. It's YOU apostrophe RE wrong. So if the nigga can't even do his thumbnail correctly,
right?
Why the fuck would I need to listen to anything this nigga's saying about us? Come on, man.